Proto-rikis. When you run a large language model locally, you're almost never running the full precision version. Instead, you're getting a quantized copy, a compressed approximation where each weight is stored in fewer bits. And of course, compression hurts quality. But the question is, how much can you quantize before the quality drop actually makes a difference for you? Let's dive into this fascinating topic. Look at Gemma 4 model from Google. The Q6 quant is 23 GB, Q4 is 17, while the squeezed Q2 is mere 11 GB. That's less than half the size of Q6 on the same 26 billion parameter model. If Q2 turns out usable, you can double how much model you can fit in your memory. That's not a minor thing. It's the difference between running the model and not being able to fit it. So in this video, let's try to find out how low can you actually go. There are K-quants and newer IQ-quants. Let's begin with K-quants. They are the workhorse of local AI. Been here from around 2023. They replaced the previous uniform quantization, where every weight got the same precision. Today, let's use Bartovsky-published K-quants for the comparison. And then let's give it a try to the newer IQ-quant. IQ here stands for importance quantization, not intellect level, if you can even measure that. And IQ is a completely different algorithm from K-quants. So let's find out at which point they start to break apart, if at all. I was quite surprised to find out how low can you go with these. And as I've been making all kinds of benchmarks to dissect these models and share the results in this channel with you, I decided to package them up. Built a lightweight agent called rikis, and then coded all the benchmarking intellect into a new and free Proto-rikis bench portal, which I host in the cloud now. And I'm planning to add all kinds of LLM stuff here. Wish me luck and check it out! The truth is that when you try hundreds of models, different runtimes, and different inference parameters, you need some order. Even in this video, we're testing 4 different quants already, and we'll run multiple benchmarks on each of them. And at the end, I will actually try using this extremely quantized model for a real-world task. Stick around for that. Let's install rikis, generate a personal token, paste the login command, add a local runtime, and start it. It will scan for models automatically. Speaking of runtimes, we need to decide which to use for this benchmark. I like llama due to its NVFP4 MLX models, which run quite amazingly on Apple Silicon. Check out my other video on that in the description. But with llama, we can't get all the different quants that we need for this test. So I thought LM Studio could be nice, as I could show the models visually. But when I imagined switching between all these 4 quants, I quickly realized that it would be easier to fetch them directly from HuggingFace through HF CLI. And for the runtime, to use the good old llama.cpp instead. After all, it's the one that is easiest to customize and reproduce experiments with. Let's begin with the Q6 quant. Large, at 23 GB, and you'd think the definite winner in this video. Starting llama.cpp with the model. By the way, I'm using Q8 KV quantization here, my daily go-to to save memory and provide sufficient context accuracy. Let's start rikis with the added llama.cpp and start hitting this Q6 quant with the benchmarks. Back from volleyball break. Let's start from Hello World test. It checks that the model is able to follow basic instructions and answer a pair of logical questions about the weather forecast. Though trivial at sight, small models like Qwen 2.5 fail this one. Let's wait for results. Well done, Gemma at Q6. Next, let's see how this Q6 model on llama.cpp handles context caching. Prompt caching is extremely important in practice for a responsive LLM. I'll link a video on how it looks like when the quant and runtime combination doesn't support it. Check it out in description. Let's add a note that we're using 8-bit KV cache here. It's easy to forget these details later. This benchmark ain't small and requires at least 64K context window. It sends a big chunk of source file to the model and checks how much time prompt processing took. And then it sends another prompt, which includes the same source file, and checks that the second time it was digested in less than 5 seconds, indicating a properly working prompt cache. 4 chunks passed the test, and now it got interesting. The benchmark is repeating the prompt from the very first chunk, which should be cached already, and I really thought that Q6 will pass this test flawlessly. But to my surprise, 2 of the tests failed. It turned out that this Q6 is so heavy that it took more than 10 seconds for mere cache recovery. Compare that to 35 seconds of call prompt processing time. With this noted, let's dive into a coding test. We'll focus on this one between the 4 quants in detail. Human Eval is a benchmark that has 164 Python coding challenges, similar to the ones you do in LeetCode. One neat feature that the Rikis bench gives you is safety. It'll run models-generated code server-side inside a container, so you don't have to execute the code locally. Let's see how this Gemma A4B Q6 quant copes with all these coding challenges. Human Eval is a very well-known coding test. If the quant can't pass these, there's not much hope for it in the wild. Fast forward. First failures. The model is being asked to implement the given function based on a docstring and function signature. The backend then runs a test against model's generated code. But look, Gemma included its thinking inside the output, and of course that fails the test. Overall, we have 9 failures out of 164 coding challenges. Not bad at all, Gemma 4 at Q6. I actually ran 3 more benchmarks on this model, with the memory recall one challenging this quant the hardest. Even at such solid quantization, Gemma 4 is still sloppy when it comes to recalling the context verbatim. That's just how this model is due to its sliding window attention architecture. 5 failures out of 16. Let's switch gears. Time to test the mid-tier Q4 quant, my favorite one overall. By the way, if you're enjoying this, leave a like and subscribe. Now that we know what to look for, and to save time, let's jump an hour forward and straight to the Q4 quant summary. And then we'll look at the biggest surprise of them all, the smallest Q2 quant. So what do we see from Q4 results? Memory recall is a bit worse, 7 failures versus 5 of Q6. Note that even though KV cache quantization is identical between the 2 models, if you recall I set it at 8 bits for both, lower weights quantization impacts the recall negatively. But wow, just look at this! Human Eval turned out even slightly better. 8 failures versus 9 of Q6. That one less failure doesn't mean a lot, but what does is that Gemma 4 at Q4 quantization managed to code cleanly just like Q6, and it passed 156 challenges. And the context caching benchmark has no failures too. That's because this quant runs way faster, 500 seconds versus 650. One well-balanced quant. And here we reach the straight to the finish line. The most interesting Q2 and IQ2 quants. Only half the size of the biggest Q6 tested. So how do they perform? Let's jump straight to results. Even at this extreme compression, human eval challenges are still holding up. When I saw this, I knew I had to try it in real-life coding. Q2 made 12 mistakes, while IQ2 made 1 less. Sure, these are small coding challenges, but still it's a good sign that the model is stable. Probably it has plenty of redundancy in encoding the same knowledge. And what about memory recall? Well, here it gets messy. 10 failures of 16 for both. But there are 2 failure patterns, and that they are not random look promising. At this aggressive quantization, Gemma 4 either included its thinking output where it shouldn't have, or severely over-generated the output. And you know, I actually tried working with it. I opened up the rikis repo in VS Code and connected the Q2 model to kilocode. And I asked it to provide a plan on how to add token support for local runtimes. And I got blown away that after a couple of tries, it was able to suggest a decent implementation plan. Excited, I clicked Submit. Implement. Waited a few minutes, and got blown away again. Not because of implementation, but because there was just no way to press the Run button in kilocode in this small resolution that I'm recording the videos. I did press it in the larger monitor, but unfortunately Kilo just hung for 6 minutes while trying to apply the changes. So I went back to OpenCode. And OpenCode had no issues applying the changes. Tool calling worked fine even at Q2 quantization. These local models came a long way here. After fixing few bugs, excited, I added the API key to llama.cpp model, and even made a mistake in the call to rikis, and asked the model to help me, and it did. And the new command with the API key worked. It added runtime configuration with the token. I couldn't believe it. This is too good to be true. So I launched the benchmark and got invalid API key error back from llama.cpp. The model correctly added all the configuration pipework. But it totally forgot that HTTP call to the runtime needs to be extended with the API key too. Oh well, let's consider that operator error. It is a tiny 2-bit quant, 26 billion parameter MOE model after all, and it needs some love and guidance to work properly. Which quant size do you like the most? Have you tried 2-bit or even 1-bit quants in real tasks? Don't hesitate to leave a comment below. I hope you enjoyed this video. I wish you a great day and see you next time.